Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be back in the UAE and I can't wait to be out on court and I hope to see you there.
Alex Eala Career Analysis Abu Dhabi 2026. Welcome back. Today we're looking at Alex Eala's 2026 season opener in Abu Dhabi, and I want to use this tournament to analyze where she actually is in her development as a top 50 player. Forget the hype for a second. Let's talk about the tennis and what needs to happen over the next 6 months if she's serious. Music about breaking into the top 20. Right now, Eala sits at number 49 in the world. That's a significant achievement, but it's also a dangerous position. You're high enough that you lose protected ranking benefits, but not high enough to get seeded at Grand Slams. You're in this middle zone where every tournament matters for seeding, but you're also facing tougher draws. The players who successfully navigate from 50 to 20 are the ones who figure out how to win matches they're supposed to win and occasionally steal matches they're not. Abu Dhabi is a WTA 500 event, which makes it important for exactly that reason. As a top 50 player, Eala should be reaching the second week here. Quarterfinals minimum if she wants to be taken seriously at the next level. The points difference between a second round exit and a quarterfinal is substantial when you're trying to climb. Let me show you the math. Lose early here, and you're defending points all year with no cushion. Make quarters or better, and you build a buffer that protects your ranking during inevitable rough patches. Her first match is against Zeynep Sun's currently ranked 112. They've played twice before. Eala won both times. Eastbourne last year was dominant 6.1, 6-3. N was tighter 7-6, 6-4. The Eastbourne result tells us Eala can overwhelm her on faster surfaces. The Knots result tells us Sonmez can compete when conditions slow down. Abu Dhabi's courts are hard, medium-paced, somewhere in between those two matches. The interesting wrinkle is that they've been doubles partners. When you've played with someone, you learn their decision-making patterns under pressure. Sonmez knows which serve Eala goes to at 30-40. She knows preferred return positions. That familiarity is a minor edge, but it's real. The counter for Eala is simple. Execute better. If you're the higher-ranked player with better weapons, familiarity shouldn't matter. You should win anyway. Let's talk about those weapons. Eala's primary strength is her lefty forehand. It generates heavy top spin that kicks up high on the bounce, which pushes opponents back and opens the court. Against right-handers like Sunmemes, that cross-court forehand to the backhand is her bread-and-butter pattern. The question is whether she's developed Plan B options for when that pattern gets neutralized. In her Miami semifinal run last year, we saw her add more variety. She started coming forward more on short balls. She mixed in the slice backhand to change rhythm. She served with better placement, not just power. Those adjustments are what allowed her to beat players like Ryakina and Keys, opponents who are physically stronger but couldn't read what was coming next. If she's continuing that development, we should see it against Sonmez. More volleys, more angles, more changes of pace. The serve is still her most obvious technical weakness. She's averaging around 55 to 60% first serve percentage, which is okay, but not great for someone with top 20 ambitions. Players in that tier are closer to 65-70%. The second serve is even more concerning. She's not generating enough free points, which means she's working harder in her service games than she should be. If she spent the off-season improving serve, consistency, and adding a more reliable second serve kick, that's the technical upgrade that would matter most. Abu Dhabi's conditions favor her style. The courts aren't lightning fast, which gives her time to set up that forehand. The weather is warm, but not oppressively hot, so fitness won't be the primary factor. The ball bounces true, which rewards clean ball striking. On paper, everything aligns for a comfortable week. The challenge is execution under match pressure. There's going to be significant crowd support for Eala here. The Filipino community in the UAE is large and well organized, and they turn out for major sporting events. That's a factor, but it's not the story. The story is whether Eala has improved enough during the off-season to take the next step in her career. Crowd energy helps, but it doesn't hit forehands for you. One thing to watch is how she handles the specific pressure of being expected to win. At the Philippine Women's Open recently, she lost in the quarterfinals to Camila Osorio. After the match, she mentioned feeling the weight of expectations. That's a real psychological hurdle. When you're the underdog, you play free. When you're the favorite, every missed shot feels heavier. Learning to perform under expectation is part of maturing as a professional athlete. From a career trajectory perspective, this tournament starts a critical stretch. Abu Dhabi leads into Doha, then Dubai, 3 WTA 500 events in the Middle East. Swing. Strong performances in this region can set up the rest of the year. Weak performances put you on the defensive, trying to defend points from last season. Hai's 2025 was breakthrough, which means her 2026 is defending. That's a harder mental position to be in. The tactical matchup against Sonmez should favor Eala if she sticks to basics. Dominate the baseline exchanges with the forehand move. Sonmez side to side until the court opens up. Don't overcomplicate it. The danger would be trying to do too much, going for too many winners, taking unnecessary risks. Sonmez is a solid player who doesn't beat herself. If Eala plays patient high-percentage tennis, she should advance. Looking at the broader context, Eala represents an interesting case study in how junior success translates to the Pro Tour. She came through the Rafael Nadal Academy system, which emphasizes certain values: work ethic, court coverage, mental toughness. Those attributes helped her reach the junior Grand Slam level. But the Pro Tour requires additional layers: power, tactical sophistication, professional level fitness. The transition period is where most promising juniors plateau. Eala has made it through that phase, which is significant. The question now is whether she can make the next jump. Top 50 to top 20 requires a different level of consistency. You can't have bad weeks. You can't lose early in tournaments you should win. You need to be healthy for the full season. Those are the non-negotiable requirements. Based on her 2025 results, she's shown she can beat elite players on her best days. The challenge is bringing that level more consistently. If we're being realistic about her Abu Dhabi chances, making the quarterfinals would be a solid result. Semifinals would be excellent. Winning the tournament would be a major statement. Losing to Sonmez in the first round would be a setback that raises questions about whether the 2025 results were a peak or a foundation. My expectation is somewhere between quarterfinals and semifinals, depending on the draw. One technical detail worth monitoring: her movement patterns. Eala is naturally quick, but quickness and professional level court coverage are different things. The best players don't just get to balls, they get to balls in position to do something with them. If she's improved her first step quickness and her ability to recover after wide shots, that's a subtle but important upgrade. It's the difference between being in a point and controlling a point. The doubles partnership history with Sonmez adds an interesting dynamic. In doubles, they would have communicated about opponents, discussed tactics, shared strategies that creates a different kind of familiarity than just playing against someone. Sonmez will know tendencies in pressure situations. The counter is that Eala also knows Son's limitations. When both players know each other well, the match usually comes down to who executes better on the day. From a ranking perspective, even reaching the second round here would be useful. That's 30-60 ranking points depending on how far she goes. Those points matter when you're trying to hold position in the top 50, lose in the first round, and you're immediately on the defensive for the rest of the Middle East swing. Win a couple of matches and you have breathing room going into the harder events. The broader picture is that 2026 is a proving year for Eala. She announced herself in 2025 with that Miami run. Now she needs to show it wasn't a fluke. The way you do that is through consistency, making second weeks at these WTA 500 events, occasionally going deeper, not having catastrophic early exits. If she can maintain top 50 status music through the full year and push toward 30-35, that's realistic progress. There's been some social media attention around her arrival in Abu Dhabi, which is normal for athletes with large fan bases. But social media engagement doesn't translate directly to tennis success. Popularity can bring sponsor opportunities and media coverage, which are valuable for career sustainability. But on court, it's still just you, your opponent, and who can execute better. The attention is a side effect of results, not a cause of them. Looking at her probable path through the draw, if she beats Sonmez, she likely faces a seeded player in round 2. That's where we'll really learn something. A first-round win over a player ranked outside the top 100 is expected. A second-round win over a top 30 player would be evidence of genuine improvement. That's the match that matters for evaluating where she is developmentally. One final consideration: the physical demands of the tour. Going deep in tournaments means playing potentially 4 to 5 matches in a week, often in demanding conditions. Eala has shown she can do that occasionally. Miami proved it. The question is whether she can do it. Can do it. Repeatedly throughout a season without breaking down. That's a fitness and recovery question as much as a tennis question. So as this tournament begins, I'm watching for specific indicators, serve improvement, tactical variety, how she handles being the favorite, and whether she can sustain high play across multiple matches if she advances. The crowd support will be notable, but it's secondary to the tennis fundamentals. Everything else is noise. The matchup against Sunbeams is scheduled for early in the tournament. We'll have full analysis once it's complete. For now, the baseline expectation is that Eala should win in straight sets if she plays to her ranking. Anything less would be disappointing given where she's positioned in her career. Anything more, a dominant performance that shows clear technical improvements would suggest she's ready for a strong 2026 campaign. That's the setup going into Abu Dhabi. This isn't about one match or one tournament. It's about whether Alex Eala can consolidate her 2025 gains and continue climbing. The next few weeks will give us data points to answer that question. We'll break it down as it unfolds.